Well, guys, you know what? I haven't done much talking as far as doing any revamps on the two Scys I bought. You know, when I first bought them, the first one I bought, I liked it. The wife liked it. Had no problems with it. You know, kind of said, okay. I had to buy another one for myself, so I took two of them. Since then, I've been to the range a few times and enjoyed them and had no problems with them. Never dull. Sometimes it's good if you just kind of want to wipe the gun down with it and then wipe it off. It's good stuff. It also helps clean. Anyway, so far, well, up until last Monday, let's put it this way. Up until last Monday, I must have put close to, and I really don't know. You guys, I don't keep track of a lot of this anymore. I used to log every box, but I don't do that anymore. But I must have put close to 800 rounds or better through these. More than that, I would think, actually. Maybe 8 on one, 450 on the other. I don't know. I may have done a video on it, so you can always backtrack to find out, because I don't remember anymore. But Monday I went to the range again, and I took these two with me, and I had brought another 800 rounds with me. We went through approximately 750 rounds then. Again, more in one than the other, but not by much. You know, maybe 400 in one and 300 in another, that type of thing. I know I went with 800 rounds. I filled up the two mags, and there's still two mags here, and I think I got about 30 or 40 rounds left. So we did about 750 rounds or so. So that was on Monday. Tuesday I had a class, so I didn't have a chance to clean them on Tuesday, but they were still in my, one was in my holster, the other one was in the gun case that I use when I travel back and forth to the range. So when I went to the range to do the class on Tuesday, naturally it was with me. Now on Tuesday, one of the students was actually a friend of mine's son, who had just 2 weeks ago gotten out of the Marine Corps. And he just took out a job here at a local marina, and you know, he wants to get his permit because he wants to, you know, get involved with shooting with his dad and so on. So him, his fiance, and a few other, we did a class on Tuesday. Well, after the class, he stuck around a little bit so we can just bullshit, because like I said, I haven't seen this kid, oh Jesus, I think the last time I seen him was at the marina, and he was probably 12 years old at the time. Yeah, I mean, so it's been a while, you know. But other than that, you know, so he hung around. We just bullshitted a little bit, you know, as to what's going on, how's the family, and things like that, and how they like the Marine Corps, and so on and so forth. And we started bullshitting, and with that, you know, like I said, everybody else had left, so we hung around a little bit more. We went down to the range, and I had about 150 rounds with me at that point of 9mm, because I keep so many in my gun case. So I said to him, you know, I mean, you want to shoot? You know, so I gave him the Sccy. And we were down on the range, and he went through about 100, 150 rounds on one of them. So where I'm going with this is that I had already put 750 through it on Monday, on top of, and that's between the two of them, on top of the 700 or 800 or 900. I mean, I'm talking possibly even 1400. Because again, I don't remember. I know I went through a lot of ammo with them. And at that point, between all those rounds, the only problem I had, up and above the original problem, the original problem was with the magazine, if you remember correctly. If you don't, you can check back on one of my older videos back in the late part of December, and you'll see it right around Christmas time, a little after. Anyway, there was a problem with the magazines. I had bought one of these guns for my wife for Christmas. That's where the first one came in. And what was wrong was these magazines had a little bellow right here, and I've said this a number of times already. It was just a little bellow inward, just enough to where the projectile was sliding on it and it was catching, and the follower, when it got so high, would lock up. So at that point, that would have caused problems. Now, I caught it before we even went to the range. When I buy a new gun, I usually take it out here to the shop. I go through it, add a little bit of oil here and there, you know. I want to make sure it's clean. And just because it's new doesn't mean it's right. And that's when I found that out, when I started loading the mag. And they're rattling in there, and they're just falling out on me because the follower got stuck. I realized that that was the problem. So in return, I called Sccy. They sent me 2 new ones. They let me keep the old ones. And at that point, what I did was I took the plate off, cleaned the bejesus out of it. I have a piece of square metal stock. It's probably a little under a ½ inch. Actually, it was perfect for here. I slid it in, and using the iron part of the table saw, I put it down on the table saw, and I banged on both ends of that piece of metal stock, and that straightened out that little bellow on the magazines. And I've never had a problem. So far, I can say we have easily, between both guns, 2,000 rounds, and that would be fair. It probably more, but I'm gonna be fair with it. 2,000 rounds, and I can't count what happened before because we haven't used the gun. That little magazine issue, but let's take that and put it aside because the guns were never used until I actually fixed that. So, with those easily 2,000 rounds through these guns, I haven't had one problem. Not a burp, a fart, nothing. Not a jam, not a feed problem, not an eject problem, not an ammo problem, not a no problems, nothing whatsoever. So the guns are fine. Now, am I going to say they're the best guns in the world? No. But I'll tell you what, I paid $250 a piece for them. For $250 a piece to have a gun that works, you can't beat it. You know, you really can't. I like the gun. And again, I did a video earlier on my wife. She likes the gun. She actually did better with this than any other gun in the past. So she likes the guns. They work fine. Now, however, did have a little tweaking I had to do the last time after that Tuesday class. When I got home and I took it out of my holster, I noticed that these 2 little pins that actually hold the action assembly in, all right, had worked out just a hair. Now, when I say they worked out a hair, I'm talking a hair. I don't know if I can even show you. Maybe a 32nd to maybe a 1/16 of an inch, all right? Enough to where if I put my finger across it, I knew it was out. Okay, so it did. Both of them, they did work out a little bit. However, after 1,000 rounds, you know, I just tapped them in with the punch, and I didn't have any problems with it. Now, I haven't fired them since, but I haven't had any problems with it. Now, I called Sccy today, and they said that they have a few oversized, and they're going to be getting those out to me ASAP for both guns, just in case. So instead, we'll send you 2 sets just in case you have a problem. So at that point, you know what though? Is that something that would turn me off? No. By that working out a hair over 1,000 rounds? No. It's not that it fell out of the gun. It's not that the gun is broke. It just worked out a little bit. Okay? Not a big deal. And it was only on one gun. The other gun's still fine. I had no problems with it. So I still think, for the money, they're a great, great gun. I've had no problems with them. I'm thinking the people that may have had some problems with the feed, because I have seen a few internet YouTube videos on them where a couple of the guys had a feed issue where it kept jamming and locking and stovepiping and whatever. That all could have been caused by the magazine. You know, and I'm not going to say that not everybody knows everything, nor do I, blah, 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 so I'm not coming down on anybody. But sometimes people that really don't know guns, all right, or know them but just don't pay attention to them as much, may have had that problem with the magazine that I was having, and they never realized it because they're too busy blaming it on the gun and not the magazine. You follow? Now, that's not saying that they're right or wrong. It's not saying that they're stupid or not stupid. I'm just saying that sometimes we fail to look at the little things, you know, the little fixes. And that's the only problem that I had was the magazine. I fixed it before we even fired the first shot, so I can't even say I had a problem because I've had no problems with these guns. So I'm happy with the purchase. Can't go wrong for the money. Is it the best gun on the market? No. Is it a good gun for the price? Yes. In my opinion, is it a dependable piece? Yes. I can only go by what I have. I can't go by what anybody else has. All right. I have two pieces that I can depend upon. I have no problems with them. I've been actually carrying one every day since I had gotten it. Now, I do have one problem, and it's not a gun problem, it's a me problem. I don't like guns that don't fit. And when I say don't fit, I'm not a big fan of subcompacts. I like this gun, it fits, but it doesn't fit me the way I'd really like it to fit me, but it fits me enough to where I can comfortably use it. If I was to grab this gun the way I grab all my guns, as you can see, these are a little too small for my fingers. I'm actually riding on the center of my finger here. Now, because of that, I have to really get up underneath it and hold and grip, which means I have to hold it a little bit tighter. I would prefer to have had this handle even a ½ inch longer and these being a little bit bigger, and that gun would be a perfect fit for me. Now, it's not, like I say, that bad to where I won't use it, but it's real close to where I wouldn't carry this gun, because I don't believe, like I say, in subcompacts. I don't believe in buying a gun because it's easy to conceal. All right, you know, that's all there is to it. You know, you fire those little Ruger 380s or 9mm, it's like, you know, hitting yourself with a sledgehammer. You know, and if you have those problems with them and you're readjusting your grip after every shot, what good is it? You're not going to want to practice with the gun even. And if you give it to your wife, she's not going to want to practice with this gun. So, you know, if you don't practice with it, you don't like it, you don't shoot it, it's no good to you. I buy a gun that fits me because I can always figure out a way of concealing it. Okay? You know, that's all there is to it. I would rather be inconvenienced a little in the concealment of the gun than to have one I can put in my pocket and I can't find it when I need it, and when I do find it I can't hold on to the damn thing to shoot it. Alright, so that's just the way I feel. I'm not knocking anybody for feeling any different. Everybody to each their own. That's why we have all these different guns out there. Alright, and like anything else, variety. So, but as far as these two, I'm happy with them. I'm glad I bought them. Would I do it again? Yes. All right. Are they as good as my Browning double action 380? No. All right. As good as my Beretta 92? No. Good as my FNs? No. You know, but at that point, they're good guns. Hope that helps somebody.